So I'll edit that part out.
I got no hair anymore, so.
Okay, I got with me today Tchicaya Missamou. Tchicaya was a U.S. Marine Sergeant. Tchicaya is a doctor. He has his doctorate degree. He's run a successful fitness practice. Actually, it was the largest personal training gym in the entire state of California. He's a very, very successful businessman, and has been a leader in the community where he lived in California. And I wanted to. So, how you doing, Tchicaya?
I'm doing fantastic. It's so great to be here, and I see the boat and the water and the green. Yeah, I feel like I'm back in paradise.
Yeah, we're in Florida. We're here in Florida, sunny Florida. And Tchicaya, tell us about yourself.
Well, my name is Dr. Tchicaya Missamou. I was born and raised in the Congo, Central Africa. My dad has 20 children with 7 different women. I am number 11 in the chain, the family. I was born with a sickle cell disease and prematured, so at 7.5 months. Okay, I was born. The doctor, at my birth, the doctor told my mother that we're not gonna make it. So my mother suffered from what we call a postpartum stress disorder, and she rejected me. So I was on my own since the age of 11. I am 41 years old, so do the math. For 30 years, I've been on my own. And at the age of 11, I became a child soldier. Left the Congo during the Civil War because I decided not to kill people, but to save lives. So by saving lives, it created an attraction between myself and the tribe. So my life was in danger. I left the Congo to come to live in Belgium. When I arrived to Belgium, I was homeless, eating from the trash can. Then from Belgium, I went to France. Once I got to France, I started working at the freight company, picking up ice cube of fishes. And that's when I discovered America to Tupac Shakur and Dr. Dre, the song called California Love.
California Love from Tupac Shakur.
Yes.
That's the song that
was the song that
planted the seed in your brain about going to California.
That is correct.
Yeah.
So then on February 14, 1998, Valentine's Day, I came to America. My second day in this country was robbed at gunpoint. My third day in this country, I found a job as a janitor cleaning the toilet. Okay. 20 years later, I still clean the toilet. The only difference is now I own the doggone toilet. Okay. So now we're here in the beautiful sunny Florida, or raining Florida. Looking forward to taking my business to the next level. With God help, okay, I'm gonna move to Florida and open gyms. So basically duplicate what I learned in California, bring it over here, and chill out like my boy GQ.
You have a doctorate degree. Tell me about that.
Yes, I have a doctorate degree. I have a doctor in education and leadership, organizational leadership. I did my dissertation on weight loss because being in the fitness industry, and also my mother, okay, she passed away she died from diabetes, so she was overweight. So obesity claimed about 300,000 deaths per year. The population the most affected are the African American women, African American male, Hispanic male, Hispanic female, Caucasian male, Caucasian female, and Asian.
Okay, yeah.
So the number 1 drug in America is not cocaine, it's sugar. Sugar is easily acceptable, and you have sugar everywhere, okay, in this country. So obesity become is a national security threat to our government because this young generation are too fat to get into the military. So, and the study have shown that by 2030, half the American people are going to be overweight or obese.
Now I heard that with the reason why people crave sugar was from over the years back when food was scarce, that people craved things that gave them the most calories because that would that was satisfying and so they crave the sweet things because those are the higher calorie things. Now that food is abundant,
Yes.
we still have the ancient cravings that
Yes.
have been passed down over the generations through our DNA.
Correct.
But now we still have the sweet craving, and yet we have more food than we need.
Well, here's the good news. The government already knows about why sugar can be very addictive.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not doing nothing about it. Why? Because it generates so much money in America.
Oh yeah, correct.
Okay. So you have what we call high fructose corn syrup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It was a molecule that was discovered by a Japanese researcher in the 1960s. Okay. He sold the formula to the American company.
Ah.
Okay. So they can be able to create a fake sugar. Okay, using fructose, which is the sweetest
Yeah.
of sugar, and with using that, you have high fructose corn syrup in every food in America. Why? Because it's preservative,
Oh yeah.
and also there is a molecule in your brain. I forgot the name of it. It's like a hunger
Yeah.
molecule.
Yeah.
So overweight people what's the word? Overweight people
It's almost like they have more of a craving.
yes, have more craving.
Yeah.
Now because the brain cannot tell the stomach that I am full.
Right.
So what happened is overweight people, they keep eating, overeating.
Right.
So because it's due to sugar.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Because that natural craving that we all have.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, to consume the calories. Yeah.
Yes.
So what have you found as a secret to weight loss? The people who've been most successful.
Good news and bad news. A person that's overweight will always going to be overweight.
Yeah.
Because they become part of DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The research have shown that obesity genes is genetics.
Yeah.
Okay. Once a mother is overweight and she gets pregnant, she's gonna contaminate her fetus with the obesity genes. So every time you see an overweight woman, you most likely gonna see an overweight child.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So it's passed from generation to generation.
Yeah. I imagine part of it's genetics and part of it is lifestyle and the way they eat.
That's correct.
The mother teaches the child how to eat, and if
Yes.
she doesn't know herself
Yes.
how to eat in a way that keeps the weight
Yes.
down, the child won't learn it unless they learn it on their own in the future.
You have many factors. You got genetics, you have political,
Mm-hmm.
you have cultural,
Yeah.
you have environmental.
Right.
Okay, politics is our politicians they know if they can stop it.
Yeah.
Environmental, you will see more obese people in the less fortunate area, and study also have shown that people who are less educated are most likely to become overweight.
Ah, okay.
Cultural,
Right.
for instance, in the African American community, we like our women overweight.
Yeah.
Okay, same as Hispanic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so even in Asia or in Hispanic area, when the baby is overweight, is a sign of beauty and health.
Ah.
But they don't know that childhood obesity is sugar.
Right.
Okay, so and you have countries. One thing people also have to know that your liver is one of the most important organ. Everything that you eat goes to your liver. Sugar and alcohol have the same effect on the liver.
Ah.
So if you may not give your child alcohol, but you give him a can of soda, you basically do the same thing.
Yeah, and I heard that now Americans drink more soft drinks than water. I've heard that statistic. I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah.
It was a report that I saw in the news.
Yes. Well, marketing.
Yeah, marketing. Yeah.
Okay. So you see it on TV, you drive down the road, you're gonna see Coca-Cola.
Yep.
That's the reason why I say that the politics have to do something and put laws to stop the marketing, because uh, you know, if we don't take care of the issue right now, we are at source to work overseas because our children are going to be too fat to carry on the job.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah. So what's the solution? I think the solutions number one is we need to educate
Mm-hmm.
people, just like we educate about tobacco or
Right.
smoke.
Yeah.
Okay. So I remember you can't smoke in the airport. Okay. So they put like signs. Okay, smoke, cancer. So we need to do the same thing. The same campaign that we use for cigarette, for cancer, but we need to use it almost the same campaign for sugar.
Well, that's a good point because they have those advertisements. The people with the lung
Yes.
problems, they're speaking
Correct.
through a hole in their throat. They're missing their jaw,
Yeah.
and all those pictures creates a negative feeling about smoking.
Yes, awareness.
Yeah.
We have to create awareness.
We need to create the wellness, and we need to have associate the true health detriments
Yes.
of the poor eating and the high sugar diets that we're so accustomed to in the
Pe-
U.S.
People need to be informed,
Yeah,
and people are misinformed because the politics control the media.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if you control the media, you control the way people think.
Yeah.
If you control the way people think, you take advantage of them.
Yeah, my wife and I were behind somebody in the grocery store. We noticed, and we see a lot of people. They have Cheetos and they have sugar sodas and sugar cereals, and that's what they're eating, what they're feeding their kids.
Yes.
It's just kind of a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to remember, the body cannot break down genetic modified food.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so when you have like chips,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
a bag of chips, okay, is genetically modified. Why? Because they took over the fiber.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So the reason why you have a high corn fructose syrup and everything is because you remove the fibers so the food can be made in mass production and
Ah.
can live longer.
Ah,
Okay, so what happened is your liver cannot break down
Right.
the fake sugar.
uh-huh.
So what happened is your body gonna store it as fat because you can digest it.
Right, right, exactly. Yeah.
So that's the reason why when you see overweight people, they're always eating chips.
Ah,
Okay,
yeah,
they drink
yeah,
sodas.
Yeah.
You know, your nutrition should be high on fiber.
Right.
That's another secret.
And what role does exercise play in the whole thing?
I would say exercise play. I would say 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because what exercise also does, okay, it releases endorphin. Endorphin are the happy chemical in your body, and the more you exercise, you most likely won't be depressed. Okay, the more you exercise, the most likely your body will be able to break down some of those calories because you need
Right.
calorie in. People sometimes say calorie in, calorie out. There's not really work that way because you have genes there. You know,
Yeah.
you and I, we are educated,
Right.
so we know what to eat.
Right, right, right.
But a person that's not educated and the family eat high calorie food, that's the only thing they know culturally.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very difficult for you to tell that person, don't do this because that's what
That's all they know.
that's all they know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, so when we talk about obesity, we also got to talk about the consequence of obesity within the African American community.
Yeah.
Obesity within the African American community started way back during slavery.
Mm-hmm.
The food that was introduced or given to the slave, okay, is still part of the diet today.
Huh.
High caloric food. And studies have shown that high caloric food have changed, has modified the DNA structure of the black woman.
Ah.
Okay, so and today, okay, you see that, and when we talk about obesity, we also gotta talk about mental health.
Right.
Okay, the reason why the African American community are high on obesity, they're so high because number one, talk about slavery, you know, depression,
Yeah.
okay, segregation, all those things. Mental health has contributed. Mental health also can be passed on from generation to generation.
Right.
Okay, and today you see a lot of African American people overweight because the only thing they know is what their great grandmother used to cook.
Yeah. Yeah.
So culturally, oh, this was deep fried food, fry fried grease.
Mhm.
Okay, they fry everything.
Yeah, because things are passed down over generations,
Yes.
and of course during the slavery days they weren't feeding them filet mignon.
No.
No, they were eating the
Yeah, they were
lower
feeding them
cost food.
leftover.
Right, right,
They were,
right.
they were
Right.
feeding them leftover,
Yeah.
and it was also survival. So they done whenever they're done with what they knew.
Right.
Okay,
And that's been passed down over the generations.
That's
yeah.
correct.
Right.
and today, African American hold the highest rate of obesity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but here's another thing also. The culture has a big influence, even though we can be educated. In the current studies, they show that African American are having the highest rate of education.
Hmm.
Before it was the Asian people.
Right.
Now you have African American.
What do you think that is?
I think I will say there's maybe like a campaign out there that African American ever thought that because they were not giving education in the beginning, now they're craving it.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so they want to prove
Yeah.
that them too can become somebody.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Now,
It's like
so
I can do it too.
I can do it
Nothing's-
too.
Nothing's stopping somebody just because of their
Yes,
skin color.
that's correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have an African American now, even though they are highly educated, but they're still overweight.
Yeah.
So you have the cultural,
the cultural thing. is part
okay,
of it too,
and
yeah.
you have the genes.
Right. Right.
So you can go to a doctor, for instance, you go to Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you get the high concentration of African American.
Mm-hmm.
You can go over there and you see an overweight doctor. But he's gonna talk to you about obesity. But in the meantime, he's diabetic.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but even though he's diabetic, because diabetic can also be passed on from generation to generation, but type 2 diabetes, diabetes can be controlled, can be reversed using what we call plant-based diet. Food rich on fiber can reverse heart disease, diabetes, even cancer. But nobody like to eat grass
True. True.
because it doesn't make them happy.
We're not cows.
So you have, okay, you have to educate people,
Yeah. Yeah.
create that sense of awareness, and maybe not this generation,
Yeah.
maybe not the next generation, but the generation after next.
So you talked about the food we eat,
Yes.
the activity that we perform,
Yes.
and our mental state.
That's
all
correct.
has to do with our health and our weight.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
Okay. So education, and this is when the government can come and then pause. Okay. The government can tell people, okay, no more, because now you have these big drinks. Okay. So
Yeah, the big gulp.
gulp.
Yeah.
You go to 7-Eleven
Yeah.
for a penny or you get so this big pop, and so we have to teach people small portions.
Exactly. Yeah. Big
Because-
cup of brown
Yes.
sticky sugar water.
Yes,
Yeah.
so we have to change that.
Yeah. True.
We cannot, the law on advertising, they can say, okay, you can maybe advertise about sugar or drinks late at night or early in the morning,
Yeah.
but not during, okay, when kids are at home.
When I was a kid, there was advertisement after advertisement on TV about cigarettes.
Yes.
You would see one ad after another about cigarettes.
Yes.
Nothing tastes. Winston tastes good
Yes.
like a cigarette
Yeah.
should, and that was and you had the Marlboro Man.
Yes.
That was on there all the time. They banned that, outlawed.
Yes.
They can
Yeah.
do the same thing with sugar, which is
They can
even
do.
a bigger problem.
They can do. But remember, the pharmaceutical business and the food business,
Mhm.
they work together.
That's true.
So
And they line the pockets of the politician, who would be the ones that would be
That's
enacting
correct.
these laws anyway.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I'll feed you, and I'm gonna give you these pills
Yeah.
that will make you sick again, but you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But when they could tell them that the pill that I'm giving you gonna have side effect in your liver, okay? In your, you never know. Oh, look at this, an animal over there. First time,
Yeah,
sorry.
we have a Florida iguanas.
Iguanas. Food
Yeah.
in the Congo. So, yes, it's a billion, a trillion, okay, money maker.
Yeah.
The food business
Yeah.
and the pharmaceutical business. So how you gonna take that away from the politician, knowing that the food business and the pharmaceutical business are the one that gave him money for his campaign?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And
Yeah,
some of these
that's a-
people, they even sometimes board of directors
Yeah.
on those companies.
Got the political thing too.
It's political. So I think we need to crack down the politics and enforce them to change the law
Yeah, good,
on
good
marketing.
point, yeah. So we're running out of time. Give us your best shot. Give us your last shot.
My last shot is this. We live in the greatest country on the planet. Nobody ever thought that a kid that was born and raised in the Congo can come to America and become somebody. Okay. Life is what you make it. Things goes up, things goes down. But just remember one thing. When you think you have a problem, there is somebody out there wish to have your problem. Somebody out there wish to live in your house, sleep with your wife, okay, drive your car, wear your clothes. So trust me, you don't have a problem. When you think you have a problem, tune the TV on and see what's going on in Africa.
That's a good point.
And here,
Yeah, a good
you
point.
have water. In Africa, we have water, but I can't drink it.
Crazy. Dr. Tchicaya Missamou, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.